Hello everybody, welcome once again. This is Southpaw with another commentary. Today we have got Drac, commed by Weed, versus Dreg, commed by Student, in Alliteration's own favourite matchup. This is a long one, so get a cup of tea, pick out a packet of your favourite biscuits, put your feet up. There's some good stuff, some funny stuff, some weird stuff. Let's jump right into it. So I'm flying for Student here on the Dreg team. I always like a bit of Dreg, one of my favourite scouts. Speed perk, missile tracking perk, missile damage perk, all make scouting quite good fun. I've taken kind of a mixed loadout there, something that will allow me to engage and damage a miner or harass a con. Of course I've got a Nan, always carry a Nan. Really liking that the new high-res textures come as default now. These rocks are gorgeous. So it's a longish video. There might be some periods where I give you a rest from my grating British voice. Pretty decent opening here on a cool map that I've not played a lot. I don't know whether this is new. Again, I've been away for a couple of years. I don't know whether this is a new map or just one that has not played back much in the day. But I'm, as is typical, I'm escorting the opening con here. Preference for the opcon, priority for the opcon. Need to give it some cover. As it turns out, it's a pretty good job that I do. The Dreg speed perk is sweet. That con is motoring. Look at that, 118.
Autopilot disengaged. Constructor detects enemy. Miner detects enemy. Miner ammo is full.
There we go, we've both gone the same way. Pretty similar forces in here. Blue has a couple of scouts. We've got a light int. There is Weed, the enemy commander. Pretty fearsome interceptor pilot. I'll need to steer clear of him to the extent that I can. I'll try and cover the con here. I've only got 2 procs, so I'm going to put 1 there to try and take out anybody that rams the con. Now I'm going to dodge around the rock. Con is fine. It's me I need to be worried about. There's that ram. It's interesting, it doesn't knock the con out of alignment. So although its shield is down, it's actually going to climb back up and dive pretty much straight away, and you can see in the background there that Blue's opcon has also planted. So pretty much straight away here, Com calls this as a bombing opening. It's pretty nice, Dreg bombers, quick, weak hulls, but the missile damage perk's real nice. I could have been a bit more attentive and done some cross-nanning earlier on here. And they have a bunch of -1 sector over. A nice move from Student here. He says, you have a defined amount of time before we have bombers and we're going to bomb straight away, so go get on their miners. I take a look at the map. I probably should get on their miners, but I'm a little bit worried about where their telly went, and we have not done a great job of scouting the right hand side of the map.
engaged.
So I'm off over there to take a look,
Disengaged.
quick peek, with a view to getting on that bomb run as soon as it's ready to go.
Constructor requesting generic rock.
It's pretty much the ideal opening for me. There's not much I like more in the game, more than nanning a bomb run. I've already said I like the Dreg Scout, although they're a little bit flimsy. This is bugging me. I'm looking for that
Have reinforcement.
missing Aleph. It's like they're usually tech rock side. So at the moment I'm like, where the hell is the Aleph? Given up, going to check it over there. But the comm has now called for the bomb run to assemble.
Autopilot engaged. 8, 7, 6,
So I'm going to rip to that telly and get in position to nano bomber.
2, 1. Autopilot engaged.
It's a very conveniently placed TP.
Disengaged.
And the ops are pretty close. So again, Dreg bombers being quick. As long as we have a couple of nans in this sector, we stand a good chance of taking it out. So nan's ready to go, procs are ready to go. There's the bomber. That's weed on all chat. That is one ugly ass model. Drax a relatively new faction. I have not flown it very much. I say new, it's like 4 or 5 years old at this point. But man, is that model ugly. I mean, I appreciate that a member of the community's made it, and I thank them very much for doing so. But I'd rather not have to look at it. So a pretty straightforward takedown there. They barely launched any D, 4 nans. We're always going to get that.
Engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
And we're going to roll.
Teleportation receiver completed. Sector secured.
Now, back when I was playing regularly, there was a different model for the Dreg bomber. In fact, all the Dreg models were different. And it was a sweet model to ram. You could hit it just below the turret, and you could really get that thing shifting. This one, it's not too bad. It's got a reasonably flat model, and that sweet spot just between the engines. You can see us, the Nan's now lining up to chain ram him. The guy's relatively new. You need to ram and get out of the way. So I'll land the ram. Just thrust off to the side to allow for the next guy. So whilst we're doing this, Blue have been getting a tech base up. But there's a chance here for a really significant step ahead in the game. 6 Nan run on their home. With a cross nanning.
Reloading dispenser.
This Garrett's really close. See, we lost a lot of rounds pretty quickly. We had a decent amount of D.
Autopilot disengaged.
He's got a AB reload, which is a real shame. Could have popped that if we could get 2 more into it.
Autopilot engaged.
Great job from Nev here, picking up the team, at least those members of the team that are paying attention. So underrated, something that vets just know to do. Go get pickups.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. Constructor detects enemy.
And you see here he's pushed a con and they're mining close to our home, but in a sector in which we've got a TP.
Cargo is full.
And I said that the Dreg Scout is actually quite dangerous,
7,
particularly if you've got
5,
a hold full of dumbfires.
minor
I've only got 2 racks here, I didn't really have time to change my
Autopilot disengaged.
loadout.
Minor detects enemy. Minor under attack.
But 4 scouts comfortably capable of taking on miners,
Autopilot engaged.
especially as there's no
Autopilot
D.
disengaged. Minor under attack.
However, as we're all focusing on this,
Minor under
our own miners are also under attack. At least one of us could and probably should be on D. Yeah, bad procs drop there. Way too close. Not enough time for them to arm.
minor.
Yeah, we've eyed that base next to our home. Comms called another bomb run. So I'm halfway through thinking about chasing this miner. Halfway through realizing I don't really have the dumps.
Constructor requesting cargo
And
disruption.
pod ride now would really jeopardize a bomb run. Our tech con is finally out. It's a sup.
Autopilot engaged. 8, 7, 6, 5. Refinery completed. 3.
So I'm starting to rip here to get on the bomb run, and then I'm reading the chat.
Autopilot
And the
disengaged.
com says I'd like to do it from
Teleport
Dunno, which is where
avoided.
I'm at. So I think I'll just hang around here, get on the TP,
Constructor
hopefully
detects
avoid weed.
enemy. Minor detects enemy.
Meet the bomber when he rips in. If you're checking out the chat here, you're going to see that the bomb run launches at home and then gets eye from a scout.
Minor detects enemy.
And so what student's trying to do here, he's trying to get the bomb run as close to the op as possible, but he's trying to pull the D to a different Aleph. He's trying to pull the D to camp the Aleph from our home, whereas we can roll in from Donatis, dodge that camp. And actually that scout being there eyeing the bomb run works nicely, because that will be drawing the camp. But they can't rip till he's gone, otherwise they'll know what's up. So I'm chilling here, waiting for that scout to move and for the bomb run to lose eye.
Teleportation receiver completed. Sector secured.
Boom, here we go. Scout is gone. I'm expecting the bomber to rip in now.
Enemy.
There he is.
Supremacy center completed.
Lining up for a ram. Nice. Good ram that. Get him moving. Win 98 gets a nice ram in too.
Minor detects enemy.
Because we don't expect this LF to be camped, we're going to go in here full speed. They did have procs up, of course. It's a bad day for everybody. But they ripped uneyed. We've been uneyed in this sector. It's a good chance they've got nothing up. In he goes. I freak out a little bit seeing those mines until I realise that they're friendly. And again, we're really nice and close to this op. Ints are boosted to try and intercept, but they don't have too much chance at this kind of range. Really missing my cross now. Crossdown is super important. It means that the attacking ints or fighters wasting time. They're not killing the Nan. They're holding still for turret gunners to shoot them. Team that cross Nans on a bombing run, particularly against basic tech, got a very good chance of destroying the target. Ah. Bonus opcon. So I think the gunner here is the bomber is using his GATs, which is unusual because it draws from the same ammo pool as the turrets, and the turrets are way more powerful. And that's a nice get. That's a little bonus. One bomb run, 2 ops dead. Map position's looking a little bit healthier for us, although we're behind on the tech. You can see they've got ints up now. Comms called that we're going to pressure their expansion. This is a chance to end the game here. More or less end the game. I think if we take the expansion at this point, Blue's in a real hole. We've got the map. However, we walk into a pretty sizable amount of opposition. They've got Mini 2, you can see floating there. I see ints with Mini 2. Pretty difficult proposition, but our turret gunners are doing a great job here. We're rolling with 4 Nans. I'm out of procs. Again, not ideal because this bomb run's rolled. You can see me getting the cross Nan there. We're getting close to being in range. I just clipped the edge of that prox, and I think I might be cursing at this point, because you see the rest of the Nans get potted real fast, and we don't really get a shot. I think 1 or 2 of the Nans, including me, survive a little bit longer there. Maybe we get that. It's pretty close. Not for the first time here. I don't really know what I'm doing in the pod. If I'm autopilot or what. But again, Nev, second time already in the game. They're on pod pickups. Mark of a good player. You're also going to see a nice little move here. Look, he's hiding behind his own little prox cloud to facilitate pickups. Comms put a TP in here, which is a little late. If that comes in with the bomb run, then that builds. But now it's undefended. And the comm tries to rip it too late. It's one of those things, it wasn't quite ready. If we'd waited, the bomber would never have got close enough. Probably would have lost bomber and TP. Got nowhere near the expansion. You can see ints all over that thing, mini 2 ints, particularly for something that's a decent RAM on it, which they do. That telly hasn't got much chance.
Teleportation receiver constructor under attack. New ship tech available. New weapon tech available. Teleportation.
So the game's pretty even here. There haven't been many minor kills.
Receiver destroyed.
We've taken out a lot of their early expansion, map expansion ops primarily. But they've got tech up and we don't. This is the point where I realise that
Autopilot disengaged.
some scouting is required. We're also letting them mine pretty much right next to our Oplo. So time to go and get some probes out. And lo and behold, there's a new OP. Blue spamming out the ops here. Typical expansion game. Nothing I can do to stop that planting. There is a miner in here. Judgment call this. I want to make sure that I eye the op when it builds. Dreg scan nerf. I need to be pointing right at the miner to keep it eyed. Better use of my time might have been helping to cross now Night Flame or to help attack this miner. I delay a little bit. He lands some nice solid dumbfire hits there. He's going to have Dome chasing him. Does the right thing. Switch to Dome, keep Dome busy. As I got some dumbs. Now this time I get the procs drop right. Right on the way it's going to run. The procs are arming now as the miner's coming off the rock. Now he's going to start to e-procs. This thing has an absolute ton of hit points. He's eaten a fair amount of gap fire, good movement through a procs, a couple of dumps. Still takes ages to drop it. It's gratifying to get that when they rush the D, and there is another miner in here, but we don't really have the firepower. Fungus is going to see it, go after it. There's just too much D. And he's missing those dumb shots. There you go, he lands that one. So again here, I'm like in my own little world, feeling pleased with myself, got a minor kill. Haven't engaged autopilot and I'm merrily watching Fungus try and take out this miner as I drift further and further away from the Goron Aleph, which is where I should be going. Completely oblivious. I'm like, what the hell? Where am I going? Get the enemy bomber sighted, and I'm like, right, I'll go and do that. But it turns out I've managed to drift 2k away from Goron. Like an idiot. And there's that bomber. He's right on the hole. And that's close. That Aleph is close.
Attack nanites. Don't defend. It's dead. Attack nanites.
Dreg fighters are really nice. The gun mounts are really tight. Which means if you're unlike me and you've got a good aim, you can do a lot of damage with a Dreg fighter. However, if you are like me and your aim's a bit dodgy, well, you need to be shooting at big things, slow things, preferably stationary things. Ooh, probe 2. Nice. However, I suspect that bomber's rolling on the sup, so does the comm. So I've gone up there to try and get some procs on the Aleph through which that bomb run will come. You see from the minimap here again, map control is really ebbing and flowing this game. It's a really nice swingy game. Now again, blue's in pretty good position. A little bit of space to mine. They've got their tech up. Only 2 ints. We're just catching up, and I am late to that hole. I'm out of position. Prox is not in a great place. I get a little bit overexcited trying to get this kill. They're cross nanning. Yeah, not great. Luckily, however, we do have enough fighters out. We can take out a couple of nans and then spike this bomber down. Just see him there. Again, those Dreg Fig gun mounts really tight. Against a bomber, you can land pretty much all of your shots from medium range. Really helps.
Nice work.
Constructor requesting generic
Attack
route.
miners. Affirmative.
So classic supremacy. We've got TPs all over the place.
Ship is repaired. Rearmed.
Blue have been
and
trying to
ready.
push ops, thinking that at this stage I can maybe bag a miner,
Constructor requesting generic route.
or at least harass one. Hindsight, I should probably be probing here.
Autopilot engaged.
Should be probing
Autopilot disengaged.
mid-low left
Miner detects
and low left.
Constructor detects enemy.
However, doesn't hurt to have a scout go along with Dreg Figs who are miner hunting. The Dreg scan nerf means the Figs can be pretty much blind.
Aleph is mine.
Quite why I went into there is anybody's guess, but that op yet again. Goron, a very much contested sector. That's going to plant without too much difficulty. And again, that's real close to the Aleph.
Reloading dispenser.
Too slow turning around there.
Autopilot.
Hull full of procs, really
Autopilot
hamper your agility.
Teleportation
So it's pretty ineffectual there.
under attack.
Hoping our TP gets in.
Completed.
Get a miner kill, which is nice.
Enemy. Teleportation receiver constructor under attack.
Yep, TP goes in. No thanks to me, but the Figs do a good job.
I don't get paid enough for this. Returning to base.
So that TP looks like it's about 1.5k from the OP.
Autopilot disengaged. Bomber sighted.
Attack bombers.
And they're bombing again.
Under attack.
Bomb and counter bomb, these are some of the most exciting mid games, in my opinion.
Receiver completed. Station at risk.
It's all about situational awareness, timing, being able to swing from defense to offense.
New research completed. Miner under attack.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Autopilot engaged.
They've got that bomber out straight away to take care of that TP, which was, as I said, very close
Under attack.
to that op. Goron.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready.
Switch to the fighter here.
Autopilot
Wondering whether they're going to roll. They've got heavy interceptors, they could try int bombing. Get ints in here, clear out the defense, then roll a bomber in. So with GAT 2, dumbfire 2, if they do int bomb, that means they'll have fewer nans, which makes spiking the bomber using the Dreg missile damage perks a little bit easier. So I'm hanging back off the Aleph here, waiting to see them come through. And there he is, 2 Nans.
Stay together.
Autopilot engaged.
So if we can coordinate
Autopilot
well enough here,
teleportation.
even with the heavy ints, this shouldn't be too scary. You can see the spike damage that the Nans are not well placed to get up. So those heavy interceptors will be whoring about the sector picking up kills, but no danger to the station. So at this point our supremacy is pretty crucial, and the danger of heavy ints and heavy int bombing is pretty real. So I've realised the need to my brief and
Welcome home.
not overly effective
Rearmed and ready.
time in a fig is coming to an end. I've changed to quickfires here just to
Station upgrade.
try and clear the sector of heavy ints. I keep saying this, but quickfires appear to have been changed quite dramatically from when I was playing a lot more regularly. Not least of which I think is a range reduction.
Stay together.
You see there's a lot of us on D here expecting them to come bombing again, which they do. This time they've brought a few more Nans. Still the familiar faces whoring in the heavy interceptors. Typical me, this attempt to prey on the weak. Just going to make sure I dodge these procs. Back in the hand train. I missed pretty much every one of those. And this is where having a bad aim sucks. Because I'm also missing the majority of my gap fire. But the bomber's down again. I'm going to try not to feed whichever of their heavy hits is chasing me home.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready.
They're mining Goron. We've still only got enhanced figs. They've got heavy ints. So they've got a tech advantage and a dogfighting advantage. Map position now is pretty much even. So again, the game very much in the balance at this point.
Minor request. Helium asteroid.
Additional recruits have arrived.
Thinking about going miner hunting here.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Enemies have reinforcement. Bomber sighted.
Again with the bomber from Goron.
Minor
They
request.
lacked a little bit of the organisation that we showed in the early mid-game bombing.
Bomber sighted.
I'm worried that they've got a TP in
Read the chat.
Reiko here, which is 3k from us up.
New ship tech available. New weapon tech available. Bomber sighted. Instructor detects enemy. at risk.
So my fears were unfounded. You
Transfer completed.
can see they're still trying to heavy int bomb.
Enemy.
Coming through Goron. Probably too many heavy ints.
Tech available.
Read the chat.
Not enough nans here.
Need a pickup. Negative. I got you. Still.
So we've got advanced figs now, which is nice.
Prepared, rearmed, and ready.
However, I'm worried that some key sectors
Helium asteroid.
next to us up are completely lacking in eye.
Autopilot engaged.
So whilst the team gets ready to go Galv that op in Goron, clear of Goron again, I'm going to go and probe up Draco. Which is much closer to us up than Goron is.
Reloading dispenser.
So if they do bring a run in here, it'll come through
Autopilot
Bourse.
engaged.
So I'm going to make sure I get some probes
Bomber sighted.
that will at least eye it entering the sector, which should give us time to do.
Position at risk. New weapon
Another bomber in Goron.
Reloading
We've got
dispenser.
Galvs up now.
Autopilot disengaged.
You can see our subsectors turning into a bit of a dogfight.
Check that out.
Reloading dispenser.
I'm pretty confident that
Teleportation
with advanced figs now,
under attack.
Attack.
should be able to take out
Teleportation
their bomb
repair
runs.
destroyed. Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Teleport aborted. Mining request. Helium asteroid. Reloading dispenser.
Attack bomber.
You can see we've got Dump 3 and Gat 3. Dreg Dump 3. Very nice. I probably should have bought more probes here. Probably didn't need the spare rack of dumps. Yeah, you can see the spike damage that Dump 3 is doing, even though the Nans are able to nan it up. You can land enough hits in quick succession. You got really close that time. Now we've got Galvs.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired.
It should really be time to take
Rearmed
care of
and
Goron
ready.
again.
Autopilot engaged.
I'm
Autopilot
still concerned about Reiko.
Affirmative.
Reloading dispenser.
Jump point.
Autopilot engaged.
You at the jump point.
Not the greatest probing here, not too subtle.
Dispenser. Enemies
Relatively
have
quick job.
reinforcement.
Just want to make sure that any bomber that comes through here is eyed.
Reloading dispenser. Autopilot engaged.
And what's more, need to start thinking about HTTs. They've had
Reloading
advanced decks for a
dispenser.
while.
Affirmative.
You can
Autopilot
see the minimap, you can see our team forming up in advanced figs to Gal Goron.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Research completed. Autopilot in.
we've got spec mines, which will quickly mean that our miners are irrelevant and we're not really hurting for money.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. Bomber sighted.
So I've launched in the scout here and I'm way late to the party, thinking about what I should be doing. Just happen across a friendly fig in a dogfight. Give him a little bit of a helping hand. I was probably thinking I should have gone and got a gal fig.
Autopilot engaged.
Again, I'm checking the flashing sectors. We've taken out Goron yet again, cleared it once more,
Autopilot disengaged.
so I'm heading back to Reiko. Probably should have picked up
Cargo
pods here,
full.
I gotcha. Hold still.
at least to check where they were.
Autopilot engaged. Constructor requests helium asteroid. Autopilot
So now we've merrily mining bourse.
disengaged.
Those miners should eye anything coming through there. Although probably not a stealth HTT, which is still what I'm worried about.
Affirmative.
Reloading dispenser. Autopilot
Less of a
engaged.
threat now that we've taken out Goron,
Autopilot engaged.
but still could use some probes.
Reloading dispenser.
So already about 40 minutes into this game, there's an HE rock
Autopilot engaged.
just been discovered. It's been quite intense. We still haven't completed the map. At least I don't think we have. Oh yeah, maybe we have. That would explain why I couldn't find the damn Aleph.
Reloading dispenser. Refinery.
A new op.
9.
There's a surprise.
Autopilot
Goron, you say?
engaged. Bomber
What are the chances of that?
4, 3, 2.
Pretty bold move on their part, putting another op in
Autopilot
against
disengaged.
Galving team. I guess they don't have too many options. Coming back with another bomb run. They really need to take this sup out. If you get this sup, it's pretty much game at this point.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired.
Although with spec mine
Rearmed
research
and
done,
ready.
we can hang on in there, get past the break-even point. Alright, you see the fighters hanging around so that they can try and spike the bomber roughly at the same time. He's coming pretty much straight for him. And spiked away. Yeah, can't hit Kazos with a banjo. Not a single projectile. My mere presence was enough to frighten them away.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Autopilot engaged. Constructor requesting generic rock. Autopilot disengaged. Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. Miner
For some reason we have a miner in Goron. Suicidal Dreg miner.
Miner under attack. Autopilot engaged. Miner
Still in a fig here.
destroyed.
It's feeling pretty frisky.
Disengaged.
Yeah, instead of having all these figs chasing that miner, really should be organising another galv run.
Reloading.
Thanks for the lift.
Again, there I spent a lot of time thinking what to do about this, and eventually show the day late and dollar short. Thankfully, the advanced fig rip time is nice and short, so I can get somewhere more useful.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Jump point.
Miner under attack.
Attack phase.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready.
Getting the extra rack of fuel for a galv run.
Autopilot
Usually need to get in
engaged.
quick.
Autopilot disengaged.
Circle boost around whatever you're galving and then get out. I tend to spend a lot of time dogfighting using my gats, so that extra rack of ammo is a waste.
Rotation receiver completed. Sector secure. Constructor request.
Old habits here, I'm walking to the Aleph so as not to get eyed, but again I'm just a little bit off the pace of the game, so having to boost in behind the rest of the team.
Reloading.
See the call there that the Aleph is mined, so slow right down. That's close again, about 2k from the hole. Again, I'm too late. So that's Goron cleared, but they've got a rip in that's Porsonus.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready.
Set up for a long range. I was set up for a long range galv.
Autopilot
I'm
engaged.
going to probe Goron, that seems like a sensible idea.
Disengaged.
So we can actually see when they inevitably shove another opcon in there.
Constructor requesting generic rock.
Got 177 meters per second. These Dreg scouts are quick.
Enemy teleportation receiver destroyed.
I got you. Hold still.
Yeah, teleref.
Defend constructor.
So spec mines are out.
Autopilot engaged.
Attack my target.
Reloading
That's a
dispenser.
misclick. What I should be doing is just probing the rocks that are close to the Louis hole.
Autopilot engaged.
Those ones make the most obvious targets for another blue op.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
That's a low sig scout, and that I think gets me thinking HDTs. He's flying without his shield. We've got probe 3,
Medium asteroid.
which is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. Not often that I get to fly with probe 3. Not doing a particularly careful job here.
Enemy.
They are pursuing supremacy. They are pursuing supremacy.
Reloading dispenser. Constructor detects enemy.
At this point we see that they are going for a sup of their own, which is probably the right response when they see spec mines.
7, 6, 5,
If they can get gals,
3, 2, 1.
they can clear us right off the map.
Autopilot disengaged. New research completed. New research completed. Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Follow me?
New
Can I get
research
some sizes
completed.
over here? Read the chat.
See, reading the chat that the subcon's coming here. With 6 advanced figs, we really ought to have a good chance to take it out. I'm getting ready to come back down here, but didn't have my nan equipped. Which unfortunately cost poor old Cindertone there his dogfight. So here they come. I'm going to take out the nans. I shouldn't be wasting my time on that con. It's disappointing that this builds. It's a close rock to the Aleph. But we should have enough figs in here to be spiking this thing down, but it has a lot of hull.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Should probably pop myself on con. Not thinking. I'm just really surprised to see that build.
Affirmative.
Again, I'm
Autopilot disengaged.
the 3rd time in this game.
Autopilot engaged.
Affirmative.
New ship
I'm
tech
noobing
available.
about in a pod. Going a very long way home.
Over here.
Autopilot disengaged. Autopilot engaged.
Should clearly be heading to Verk.
Station at risk.
Affirmative.
Teleportation receiver under attack.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Teleportation receiver destroyed. Bomber sighted. Sector lost.
So during this short intermission until my oxygen runs out, if you've been reading the chat,
Thanks for the lift.
Seems to be giving the commander some advice about mid-late game strategy, what end game tech we should go for. Unfortunately, with that subcon building, everything now gets a little bit delayed because they're able to pick up advanced subtech from us.
Enemy outpost destroyed.
Meaning that things get a little bit funky.
Minor request, helium asteroid.
Ran out of oxygen right on entering the home sector. Yeah, that was pretty bad. So they're in bombing again.
Constructor requesting generic rock.
And I'm thinking, is that dead? Yeah, that's probably dead.
Requests helium asteroid.
Having just endured, this is not a great play, but having just endured a long pod ride, the thought of ripping in there to get podded to float a long way home again.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Now you can see the map position's completely, well, not completely switched, but again now we're pretty much
Receiver under attack.
even, if not blue having a slight advantage.
Destroyed. Bomber sighted. 6 sector lost.
So more or less the hour mark, the game is still very much in the balance.
Autopilot disengaged. Bomber sighted.
And our teamwork that was so good in the early game has dropped off.
Bomber sighted.
This is a pretty big camp. I really don't know why they went through there. Dome could have warned them that it was camped and mined. We do well to survive a Dreg DF3 camp, particularly if there are mines that mean that you can't maneuver.
Autopilot disengaged.
I got totally greedy there. 8 mines.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
I think procs seem to have been nerfed in terms of their duration, which is a real shame. I know people,
Autopilot
I think,
engaged.
thought they were too defensive, but
Autopilot
actually I think the
disengaged.
teamwork
Gotcha. Hold still.
element
Autopilot
and taking
engaged.
away one of the scouts' primary weapons.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. New equipment available.
So we've got specs up. They'll be breaking even, they'll start to make a lot of money soon. However, they're very vulnerable to being galved.
Teleportation receiver completed. Sector secured. New missiles available.
I'm suggesting there that a backup sup, if we could get one, might not be a bad idea.
Autopilot engaged. 3, 2,
Affirmative.
1. Autopilot disengaged.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Helium asteroid. Bomber sighted.
Camp their base. Longwood check. Camp the olive.
Just being cautious here again. They've been trying to in-bomb the game with very mixed success.
Detect enemy.
Anything that's been in sector, they've pretty much taken out. Anything that's been in an adjacent sector, they've really struggled with. Dome boosting through there is an attempt to break the camp. Nobody falls for it.
Refinery constructor under attack. Bomber sighted.
Probably a little bit close to the Salaf.
Refinery constructor under attack. Bomber sighted.
Don't give myself a lot of reaction time. You've seen what kind of a bad shot I am.
Constructor detects enemy.
There's the bomber. With no nads. Brave chap. Spraying GAT-3 all over the sector.
I gotcha. Hold still.
Autopilot engaged. 3, 2, 1. Autopilot disengaged. New equipment available.
You see here the team's asking the commander to buy more TPs. There's no reason for us not to have TP in more or less every sector.
Rearmed and ready.
We can rip in about 5 seconds. It really helps with mobility.
Engaged. 3, 2, 2.
We can NAD 2 there.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Everybody ready? Attack my target.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Lining up for a Galv run here.
Go, go,
This
go.
appears to have just gone early. Quite a long boost. But boost to advancing wings, Dreg wings, nice and quick. So they're trying to nab this up, but against 6 scouts. It's not gonna happen. Very graceful side boost through procs there after getting the base kill. At least I didn't need a pod ride.
Enemy.
Can I get some fighters over here?
Enemy. Miner under attack.
So the economic advantage now of the spec mines
Requesting carbonaceous rock. Minor
starts to
detect
come into
enemy.
play. Still concerned that they've got that sup.
Minor
They haven't gone for
detect
endgame.
enemy.
They could have gone
Constructor
HTTs, but
requests helium asteroid.
I think they reasoned that they would struggle
Minor
just as they have
detect
to
enemy.
int bomb. And we're still very vulnerable to being galved.
Defend miners. I need help. Need scouts. Can I get some
Constructor
fighters over
detects
here?
enemy. Constructor detects enemy. 8, 7. Autopilot engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1. Autopilot disengaged. Miner under attack. Miner
I
under
got you.
attack.
Hold still.
Teleportation completed. Sector secured. Reloading dispenser.
Spec mine's nice and safe. Got more than enough D here.
Reloading dispenser. Reloading dispenser. Supremacy center completed. Sector secured. Refinery completed.
Here's the con
Miner
thinking they might have
detects
TP1.
enemy. Miner under attack. Missiles depleted.
Might have landed that dumb.
Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Constructor requesting generic rock. Welcome home.
So the garrison has been
Ship is
upgraded.
repaired, rearmed, and ready.
So no TP1, so they're still
I got you.
lagging in terms of endgame, but then in fairness, so are we.
Miner detects
Spent a lot of money getting specs up, really ensuring that position.
I
At
got
this
you.
point I'm
Hold
wondering
still.
what endgame we're going to pursue. Our subsector's reasonably well probed in case of in-sector TPs.
constructor request.
There are a few rocks that way out there that might be useful, but nothing too wild. So having been messing about in figs for a while, it's time to be back in my natural home.
Autopilot engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's been a pretty long
Autopilot
game at this point,
engaged.
and we really don't want any unpleasant
Autopilot
surprises.
disengaged.
So the com's thinking about Fig B's fighter bombers and heavy bombers. Dreg Fig B's are nice. Speed boost, missile damage perk.
Completed.
Affirmative.
Checking for eye.
New equipment
There is eye in here
available.
somewhere.
Autopilot engaged. New research completed. Autopilot disengaged. Refinery completed. Reloading dispenser.
At this point I'm thinking it's just a probe, and there it is. There's one of them at least.
Affirmative.
This would be one of the routes they try and sneak something to our subsector,
Autopilot
which is why I'm
engaged.
concerned about it.
Autopilot disengaged.
I've also planted the idea that we should probably control this sector. It gives us access to their home and their expansion.
Reloading dispenser. Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Constructor requesting generic rock.
So I'm probing and deprobing in case the com wants to push something in here.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Reloading dispenser.
In transit.
Constructor requests helium asteroid.
I'm unnecessarily pointing out again that
8, 7,
Verk is pretty close to their expansion.
4, 3, 2,
That if we can take it
1.
uneyed, we can get something in there uneyed, we can get a surprise run.
Autopilot engaged. New missiles available.
Yes, AB3. For about the 20th time this video, I'm going to say that Dreg missile damage perk
Autopilot
makes those really nice.
disengaged. Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. Station upgrade completed.
Affirmative.
6. Autopilot engaged.
Comms up the garrison here.
3, 2, 1. Constructor detects enemy. Autopilot disengaged. Teleportation receiver constructor under attack.
See the team talking about the rare step here of destroying tech rocks
Teleportation receiver constructor
to really
under
limit
attack.
the chance for Blue to get a backup tech base. Not often you see tech rocks destroyed in Allegiance, although the tech exists to do it.
Constructor under attack.
Usually only happens in a long and pretty close even fought game.
Teleportation receiver constructor under attack.
Now the com has put cons into Verk,
Teleportation receiver
and
constructor under attack.
despite me suggesting it was a great idea, I don't stick around
Leader detects enemy.
to help D,
Teleportation receiver constructor under attack.
and I'm bailed out by some pretty nice flying from those fighters. It comes to put that telly really close to tower, which is their expansion, which is nice, but it does also makes it relatively easy for them to try and take it out. No, I've only got one prox here. 6 probes. I'd be probably better off inside tower dropping those probes rather than waiting to guess the time of my prox drop. So I just got eye, which is interesting. And it's freaking me out a bit. There he is, stealth scout. Com's asking for Fig Bees. Unfortunately, the bulk of these are going to be eyed by that scout. In fact, all of them are going to be eyed by that scout.
Affirmative.
Very sensibly there, Fungus and Mungus, suggesting not to go through there, given that that would be completely camped. Now they've upped this up, which is pretty bad news. Because that'll give them access to the majority of our tech. This looks like the start of an in-bomb.
Autopilot disengage. Autopilot engage. Autopilot disengage.
Only 3 Fig Bees, probably not enough.
Welcome home. Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready. Constructor requesting generic route.
See how much damage those Dreg AB3s do though.
Destroyed.
I gotcha. Hold still. Almost had you. You have no honor. I gotcha. Hold still. I gotcha. Hold still.
What are we now? An hour and 15 minutes into this game, and I get to fly an advanced scout.
5,
Happy days.
4, 3, 2, 1. Autopilot disengage.
You want to clear this TP off. These probes are way close. You see they're still in our probe 3.
New ship tech available.
Any one of these would eye an entire Fig B run. So if that's ever going to work, we'll need to get them into this sector uneyed.
Constructor detects enemy. Refinery completed. Constructor detects enemy. Constructor detects enemy.
moves on this TP.
Eight, 7, 6, 5. Constructor detects enemy. 2, 1. Constructor detects enemy.
Ripping out there to avoid getting potted.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. New ship tech available.
So Com's got Fig Bs, he's also going heavy bombers.
Affirmative.
Enemies have departed the conflict.
And the team is now clearly pointing out that that sup represents a significant problem if they do get galvs.
New equipment available. Constructor detects enemy. Autopilot engaged. 6, 5. Constructor detects enemy. 2, 1. Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged. Teleportation receiver constructor under attack.
Lone Fig B, very ambitious.
Teleportation receiver constructor under attack. Miner detects enemy.
Don't really know what that was about.
In transit.
Constructor requests helium asteroid. Teleportation receiver constructor
I gotcha.
under
Hold
attack.
still.
Problem with Fig Bs is that they only mount a single SRM, so you need to reload after each one, which is why you typically need 5+ to have any kind of chance of success. Minimize the number of reloads you need, because in the time that you're reloading, the D is podding you. And, this is kind of suicide. I don't really know what Far is doing here or why I bothered coming in with him. But artillery is planted. Well, you should have ripped.
New equipment available.
At this point,
Refinery complete.
late in the game, we lose a bit of team cohesion.
New missiles available.
Comms quite quiet. And people start kind of doing their own thing, which I think probably drags the game out longer than it needed to be. So that lone bomber, that lone Fig B, there was another lone bomber on the expansion then. Be nice if the comm got a grip, picked a plan, whether it was whole team in Fig Bs or multiple heavy bombers, whichever would be nice.
Need a pickup.
Enemies have reinforcement. New weapon tech available. Constructor requesting generic rock.
AC3,
New equipment
another
available.
relatively rarely
Bomber
seen
sighted.
tech.
Enemies have reinforcement. New missiles available.
And there's XRO maybe 2, so heavy bombers an XRM. Looks like the finishing move
Welcome
at
home.
this stage.
Ship is repaired, rearmed, and ready.
Again, though, the comm could really be doing more to organise the team.
Minor detect
See, I've been flying in circles for the last couple of minutes, waiting
Constructor
for
requests helium asteroid. Minor
somebody
detects
somewhere to
enemy.
formulate a plan.
Minor under attack.
I don't get paid enough for this. Returning to base.
Minor detects enemy. Minor under attack. Minor under attack.
I don't get paid enough for this. Returning to base.
Minor under attack.
Negative.
Minor under attack. Minor under attack. Minor detects enemy.
So I think at this point we're up by
Minor
a
under attack.
player or two.
Constructor requesting generic rock.
Minor critical.
On an eyed bomb run. Fire again. AC3 doesn't do much to help with that.
Refinery completed.
Common really needs to lay down a plan now. We've got all the tech we need.
New equipment available.
And now he's calling it XRM bomber run. That's what I'm going to do. Don't need the turrets. Slow me down. Don't need the ammo. Same reason.
Need bombers. I don't get paid.
Very unlikely to need 15 XRM. Should probably launch with my missiles unloaded.
New equipment available.
Thinking about going low stealth. This isn't enough bombers. We do have heavy scouts. That's what I want to be flying.
Go, go, go.
I missed the old core where the Dreg heavy scout was named after me.
Detects enemy. Teleportation receiver completed. Sector secured.
In transit.
7. Constructor request.
So the XRMs,
Asteroid. Autopilot engaged.
much longer range than SRMs,
Autopilot disengaged.
typically mean you can rain
Autopilot
missiles on the
engaged.
base from a long way out,
Autopilot
4.5k.
Teleport aborted.
Making life much easier.
My target. Stay together.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot disengaged.
Don't do as much damage, but
Teleport
you offset that by
aborted.
being able to launch many more before the D can get to you. Particularly if you get through the Alphanide,
New
either with the
shipment
TP
available.
1 or 2, or in this way, an empty sector they haven't probed.
Go, go, go.
And we're in allied.
Attack my artillery!
Autopilot disengaged.
And there we go. I could be launching now. You see the missiles away. Get two off, maybe I get a third.
Autopilot engaged. Autopilot engaged. Pilot.
Pretty classic XRM heavy bomber run. It's a little sad that we didn't get TP2. Love a bit of TP2 action,
Teleportation receiver under
both
attack.
on offense and defense.
Teleportation receiver under attack.
But with that, that pretty much shuts down blue
Binary completed.
for a long, hard-fought game. Swung
Teleportation
backwards and
receiver
forwards
under
for the best
attack.
part of an hour. It's probably about 15 minutes there in the late game where Yellow lost our team cohesion. Commander went a little bit quiet, but we won the economic war. Came through. Really good game. I enjoyed flying it a lot. I hope those of you that make it all the way to the end enjoyed watching it. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time.